everybody, and welcome to your favorite show about shows. It's The Antenna with Dane, the spitting statistician Martinez.
What's going on?
I'm Nana DeFino. We hope you're having a lovely day. Today, we've merged. Kind of, Dane. Let me vent for a second.
Go ahead.
You can't call it a merge and then split it back into three tribes, dude. Yeah, that's not a merge. They shouldn't count this as a merge, right? Am I crazy?
Well, you know what's interesting? In other seasons, right? Like they do the merge, but you still then have to like earn your buffs on some level and things like that. But you're right. They did the merge, and it
was a tribe swap. It was a tribe swap, dude.
Right. That's fair. I would also like to pat ourselves on the back. Like last week, we were pontificating, like, what could the thing be? You said triple elimination. Check. I said more than one person on Exile Island. Check. So both of those things happened, but you're right. It was not a merge in its truest sense because all 17 people were not at tribal council, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It was a tribe swap, dude, with two people going to Exile Island.
I do think, though, what are we down to now? We're down to 14, I believe, 14. Right? Because it was 17. They voted out 3. Ozzy and Rizzo will come back. I do think that moving forward, they are going to be one tribe. I don't think like next week they're going to split into 2 tribes of 7 and do the same. Right.
Yeah. No, you're right about that. Yeah.
I think now it's a full-on merge, but you're right. They're a little bit early on that nomenclature.
Dane, who's your MVP? Who did you look at and be like, I want to buy into this market?
So I would actually say I'm intrigued by Jonathan. I'm intrigued by Jonathan because he got a lot of airtime. I know you like who's getting the good edit and stuff like that. And I think they try to show him as more than just the beefed up Hercules, right? He had interviews where he was talking about his strategy, how he wants to play. Is he going to piss off the new guard or the old guard, right? And I think there were also clips of him where like the good warrior spirit guys want to get down with him, like Coach and Joe were excited to see him. But then he also was, getting airtime, at least getting close with like the strategic women, right? So I think Cirie potentially. So I think there's a path for him where he's pretty well liked. I think people like Jonathan, and that's something I came away from. And not only do people just like him, but they edited it at least in a way that showed him to have some gameplay strategery. So I'm intrigued by that,
though, right? Like drag him through the mud. That's
what Camilla was saying. Yeah. So we'll see what happens in the next one. But I thought it was an interesting way to portray Jonathan, and I can see him gaining a footing with warrior samurai men and strategic women that want to be down.
Does that do you go too far past that tipping point where it's like Jonathan's a threat, let's get rid of him first? He's a giant, he's playing the game well now all of a sudden, he learned how to play. Is that one of those things where it's like, oh crap?
So I actually think Jonathan's brute force strength, for lack of a better term, is more of an asset in challenges when you're in tribes than individually. Because when you are in the tribes, there's always some kind of muscle aspect, right? That you could just put him on and then puzzle. But individually, it's very rare that there's a individual immunity challenge that is catered purely to bulky man strength, because that just wouldn't be fair, right? There's usually the balance or the puzzle or whatever. So I actually don't think in this stage of the game, his, challenge beastness is as big of a thing.
Tell you who mine was. Chrissy.
Yeah.
She popped up early, in the first 10 minutes, I think. And she was just kind of standing there in line, whatever. And I'm like, man, I forgot about her. I completely forgot about her, that she was around. And then as the episode went along, it was actually post-Trump's address where I think she, there's a pre-Trump address, then the interrupted, and then the post-Trump part.
Right.
Where she shown, her whole thing, I know I'm going to be voted out. I just don't want to cry. Be honest with me. And then her speech at Tribal is what got me, where she's like, this season 50 thing. And we've kind of talked about this a little bit on the show. Season 50 is like a celebration, it's not supposed to be hardcore. I'm so devastated. I've been voted out and blah, blah, blah. She was just we're back having some fun and healing old wounds or scars. And so it was this great speech. And I'm like, oh, wow, she's good. Like she's better than I don't even remember her from the season she played on.
Well,
and like that, I don't know, man. She's got momentum, I think. If there's such a thing as Survivor edit momentum, Dane, I think she's got it.
Maybe that's fair. One thing I took away from that, to your point about like season 50 is a celebration, you know, that the final tribal council that had Coach Cirie and Colby in it. And they like took that time where Colby was like, you know, I'm so thankful and full of gratitude. And Cirie's like, oh my God, if I could pave the way for anybody, you know, and Coach is like, it's so honorable that we're revered. I think the older guard players largely view it as what you're just saying, like with Chrissy, like celebration of joy, like, because they're also 15 years older, right? They're in their 50s. Yeah. They're like, this is whatever. Whereas I think the newer players, you see like Rizzo continuously being like, I'm trying to prove that I'm one of the best of all time. I'm trying to prove to these legends that I can hang, you know? So I think there is kind of a line of demarcation here between how the old school and the new school plays. They even talk about that. I think Cirie even said it at one point, like the new school will just get down with their enemy for 1 vote or 2 votes. The old school players will have loyalty, you know, like they really do kind of draw that line in the sand about gameplay. And I think, Nando, to your point about Chrissy and what I'm saying about that last tribal, I think not only the gameplay, but also like the way they view this opportunity of being on Survivor 50 is different for old and new.
Yeah. Some moving odds that we just want to, percentages that we want to throw out there real quick. Pretty much everyone's still at 1%.
Right.
Cirie has gone up to 10 to win. Rizzo's crept up to 4 to win, which I assume is like a tailwind of Cirie, maybe. And our bets that we put, the markets that we bought. We had Charlie at 1% gone.
Yep.
Tiffany at 1% still in play. Emily at 1% still in play. And we went no with Aubrey, which was 12%, which is now 18% no Aubrey. She's dipping a little. Cirie's coming up, but really Cirie is taking a lot of the percentages from everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So there's your quick update. I don't know, Dan. Is there anything there to read into? Who knows?
Not a ton. I will say this, you know, it all comes down to if you believe that kind of insider trading stuff or not for me, right? Yeah. Like it has been out here for months that Aubrey is like apparently going to win, you know? And so what I've been saying on this show is, well, that means Genevieve was never going to win, right? Because she was going after Aubrey. She finally gets voted out. But that also means to me that people that are close to Aubrey will move. So I continuously say Tiff seems close with Aubrey, right? And so I think and now everyone who's left is in the jury. So I think percentages are going to start to move up, right? The other thing is if Cirie is you talked about Rizzo being a tailwind off of Cirie. And I think that was kind of interesting from this episode, right? Like, I think that Ozzy, Cirie, and Rizzo are not only working together, but have shared information with their idols and the extra votes. And that is definitely locking you in. But then Ozzy also has the Emily, Christian, Stephanie, right? From the old Vatu. So I think that with Ozzy as a kind of linchpin, you know, I think that is kind of interesting to have, you know, a group of like 6 or 7. If you think about the Ozzy, Emily, Christian, Stephanie, Vatu group. But
are you on Ozzy now?
I'm not in on Ozzy to win. I'm in on Ozzy to be the hub of the wheel of what could be a powerful alliance.
Okay, let me rephrase it then, since we're talking about markets here. Are you in on Ozzy at 1% now to maybe get to like 15 to 18%, and then we'll be like, let's sell?
You know, that's interesting.
He keeps winning, Dane. This guy all he does is win over and over again every week.
And we're now at the individual immunity stage where he could win some immunity challenges. You know, my knee-jerk reaction is once again to be like not on Ozzy, but someone else in that group. Yeah. You know, as someone like a Stephanie.
But that's half the game, right? Like you just named half of the players, really.
It's 7 of them, and they're at 14. Yeah. So I think they are going to get together. I would like to see that. But I just can't get away from the fact that I think Ozzy and Coach and Cirie and these like, you know, top tier Survivor famous people have too much of a target on their back. So I know you love Ozzy and he does keep winning, but I just they're gonna pick him off at some point.
I don't know, man. I think he's figured some stuff out. Maybe I could be wrong. You know, but now I'm like rooting for, you know, I obviously have a little money on Ozzy, but also just like I like him. I think he's a good redemption story.
Sure.
Maybe.
Sure. I think that's valid. And I think what's interesting there is he seems to be locked in with Cirie and Rizzo, but then he also seems to be locked in with Emily, Christian, and Stephanie. And Ozzy told Emily about his idol, and Emily says, "I won't tell a soul." I literally
come on, man.
I started laughing when she was like, "I won't tell anybody," but at least she hasn't told anybody yet.
We'll see. They haven't showed it, right?
Right.
All right. Let's hit a couple other topics that I find interesting. I mean, Genevieve gone, which is sad, I guess. But hey, if you checked Kalshi during the week, spoiled the crap out of it. We knew that was going to happen, right? The three who went home were flying high, and the idea is, if you didn't make the jury, I guess we can't say the merge anymore. But if you didn't make the jury, you went home on a separate plane early, and everybody knew who was home early, and that's why we have these numbers. And after we talked about last year, and after week 7, things got weird in the season 49 markets, and those are the only markets we have to go on because it didn't exist before season 49, really, for Survivor at least. But like, this is where it's we don't know who came home early on the plane, so maybe like the week to week markets will change a little bit. What do you think on that?
They're all on Ponderosa together now, and they have
everyone. Yeah, no one showed up early and started posting on Instagram. Like from a restaurant.
That's possible, but listen, every single time it's been there so far, it has been accurate. So once again, listen, you're listening to Nando and I here on the antenna. We are one of the podcasts of the 7 Oracles. You need to get down with the 7 Oracles. So go on over to predictionmarketspicks.com. And why do I say it? There's so much great stuff out there. Not only the podcast, not only the newsletter, not only the videos we put out, but there are great tools, including what we are talking about here. How there may be some insiders out there that know we can, if you sign up to the website and subscribe, you can get access to these tools to kind of get ahead of the curve. And when you see these big time changes in the markets, you as a subscriber to the 7 Oracles will get notified. So, like you were saying, there are people that are saying, "Oh, I'm lucky because I got Colby at 70% before he zoomed to 97%, right? If you want to be one of those people, subscribe to the 7 Oracles at predictionmarketspicks.com, and you can get access to tools which will help you be ahead of the curve. This way, you don't have to just bitch and moan about it. You can make money on it.
We're here to help. We're here to help everybody. Dan, I want to hit real quickly. I sent you my notes from last night. 2 things. Jeff, my LVP of this show is Jeff, I think. Like, really? He's been super annoying as a host this year, right? Like, it's just been like enough of the cheese.
Oh, he's rapping, he's doing impersonations.
Yeah, that's not what it's kind of like, and you and I are from when a fantasy expert starts tweeting about something other than fantasy, and they're like, well, my fantasy stuff got 108,000 impressions. This thing about, my love for this HBO show only got 12,000. I'm like, yeah, because no one wants to read it. It's like, Jeff, just host, man. Like, you replace him with Ken Jennings. We just need someone to guide us through this. Yeah. Anyway, he kept saying, it's going to change the game forever. It's going to change this blood moon. And everyone started using blood puns. And I'm like, man, this is like the cheese is over the top here. This is not going to forever change the game because you did a triple elimination. Like, I feel like that's happened before.
I agree. I think that Jeff's strength is he asked the right questions. Like at Tribal Council, he asked the probing questions. He, narrates kind of the gameplay of it. I think that is his strength. And so when we get into the kind of like promotion stuff, like the way he talked about the damn food at Applebee's, right? And hey, like,
oh yeah.
Read. I mean, the Applebee's, like, you don't need that. His value to me is like, I bet he was like a former lawyer or prosecutor, right? Like, he asked the right question to get the information out about the part that you and I love the most, which is straight up the gameplay of it, the art of war of it, right?
Right.
And that is where I think he is best. But I guess you got to do some of that stuff for the sponsors.
I get, like, as a lover of old time radio and stuff, like, I get, like, the Texaco radio hour. Like, you've got to do it, right? You got to do it to pay the bills. That part I'm told, like, if he's saying, like, hey, this, Cajun seasoning with the bacon inside, I feel like he wasn't even, that part I was actually okay with because it felt like he wasn't trying to, hide that he was shilling for Applebee's and he was just doing a read. Well, also kind of like tempting their stomachs, whatever.
Sure,
Like,
sure.
fine. I don't know. It's just the corny, but it has nothing to do with gameplay. So, moving along, I guess. How do you feel about our Tiffany, Emily, no Aubrey? I'm feeling better about no Aubrey, actually.
It has been kind of leveling out lately, right? And, her war with Genevieve is now over. And here's the other thing that I think helps the no Aubrey is that everybody knows about the idols, right? They did a whole kind of scene as soon as they merged where everybody knows about everything. Everybody knows about Aubrey's idol. Everybody knows about Ozzy's idol. Everybody knows about Rizzo's idol, right? It seems like the only thing is that people don't know about the Cirie extra vote. That is tight with Rizzo, Ozzy, and Cirie, which kind of locks them in. So I guess the fact that everybody knows that Aubrey has an idol, where we were led to believe, at least kind of in the first couple of shows, that maybe she was doing a good job of keeping that close to the vest. I think that hurts her gameplay because people may want to flush it out, or people know that that target is there. So I think that helps the no Aubrey. So I feel good about the no Aubrey for now, even though like the insiders have been right every single time. I oddly still feel decent about Emily and Tiff, because like I like that Tiff is connected to Aubrey. And Emily, while she can't keep her mouth shut, she seems to have relationships with a good amount of people.
Yeah, but tell you what, that whole tear-soaked tribute to Colby, and Coach and Cirie, I guess, like Emily didn't even, like they didn't, maybe they did it in real life, but on the edits, she did not participate at all.
Jeff
was
a stone. Yeah, you saw D get emotional and stuff also.
Yeah, Emily was just sitting there.
Emily did not. Yeah, she was unmoved by it.
I'm off Emily. I can't tell if she, like, her horrible gameplay is going to turn out to be good for her, right? Like her telling everybody everything and just like, this is the first secret she's kept that you just mentioned before. Like, I don't know if this is like, maybe if you just fly by the seat of your pants, that's a good thing here because, it's not strategic. Maybe no one can trust you, but like you are finding yourself as a swing a lot more than not. I just don't like, as a TV watcher, I guess I don't like her much anymore.
But again, for us, good is not necessarily being in the final three. Good is just, her lasting, 3 more episodes, so that 1% becomes 10% and there's opportunity to cash out, And at least I saw the, they do the little tease for next week. And it seems that like Coach is involved in some drama. Jonathan is involved in some drama. I didn't see Emily, so maybe if she just flies under the radar for the next portion of the game, she gets the cash out territory.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, this is the week, I hope, where things move on these charts because it's just like everyone has just been squashed to 1%.
Yeah.
And this is, I mean, Dane, when we started doing, I think this is like a $8 million market when we started out. This is a $13.4 million market on Kalshi right now.
Wow.
So it's going to take a lot, I think, to move these markets. There's just so much built up already.
Right.
But again, it's like, what did you do yesterday? You're right. Like, what did you pay for yesterday? What did you sell for yesterday? So, I mean, this might be our last chance to buy some people at a cent.
So out of the people who are, we had $20 originally. 5 of those dollars is gone, right?
Yeah.
Are you saying you want to reinvest? You want to get?
I don't know who to. The thing is, like, I own 140 shares of Ozzy at 2 cents each, right? Like, that's me personally. I'm happy with that, right? Because I still believe like he's just going to win so much. He'll win his immunity and stuff like that. Like, I don't have like a good. Maybe Chrissy could slip through because people like her, but it's not like Cirie like her. You know what I mean? They like her. Like, we'll let her hang around for another vote, and she'll get to maybe like 5, right? And like maybe she'll go up to 10 cents. Like, I'm in the whole who's going to go up to 20, 30.
That's right.
Yeah. And I don't know who, like, Rizzo climbing a little bit. I still think Cirie at 10, next week she could be 50. You know what I mean? Like, she's 10 cents for Cirie is still a pretty good deal, I think.
So, what I find is interesting? It's clear also that Cirie and Rizzo are together, right?
Yeah.
And they are pretty much like the only people that are not Aubrey and not 1%. Right. I see right now Cirie at 10, Rizzo at like 4, right? And then it drops off to like a couple at 2 and then everyone else at 1, right?
Yep.
So again, that gives me confidence that that alliance does well.
Yep.
So that gives me confidence that Ozzy stays with him for a while. And Ozzy's at 1%. I know you're already invested in them, but that makes me think Ozzy, because like the numbers say here that Cirie and Rizzo are going to be around. I also, and I don't think they have enough episodes to do it. I also think it's so weird that people who have already been voted off are still at 1%.
Yeah.
In a lot of other markets on Kalshi, when you're gone and not an option anymore, it literally just says no. Like, we did a lot of stuff for the Oscars, and if you weren't one of the 5 finalists and on the list, like you were off the board and then there was an X next to your name. You know what I mean? For some reason, they are not doing that here. And that is intriguing to me. Like, there's no reason that Savannah or Camilla should still be on this board at the same level as people we're talking about, like Ozzy and Coach. Ozzy and Coach should not be at the same level as Mike White, who's voted out.
The Redemption Island twist with fans voting. I mean, the fans voted on this dumb eagle. Like, it's something.
It is something. I don't know. Part of me thinks Christian is interesting. Because I think people like him. He's entrenched with the Ozzy, Emily, Stephanie group. He also clearly is close with Devins, so I can see Christian, when you said like who's a 1%er that can go, could last a little bit longer to get up to 10 or 15. I think Christian is interesting in that vein as well.
I'm going to buy some Cirie right now live.
At 10?
At 10%, yeah. I'm going to buy, I'm flush with Trump money from the speech last night.
Oh, yeah, he said everything under the sun.
But I mean, like, it's crazy that it took until, like, after the Artemis launch for them to, like, put some of the moon stuff into Dimensions. Like, that wasn't there at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. That didn't show up until, like, 7. And so once I saw Moon and NASA, I jumped all over that. Like, I had just been doing like secondary, he's going to definitely talk about it. What words will he use to describe that?
Right.
And so,
yeah, I got gasoline at less than 50%, which
it's
to
great.
me was obvious.
Yeah. But I mean, like, and so like I've got some cash now.
Right.
I'm going to put some back into Cirie. I'll put $10 in
the next time we have to bet on Trump, like his line about like how we're the quote unquote hottest country out there right now, like hottest is always in those mentions and always at like 10%. He loves talking about how hot we are, but I digress.
Next one of these, we're gonna have a Kalshi cast and just like do a live. Yeah, and like we'll have a whiteboard. We can have all the words, and as he says them, we'll circle them, and we'll be great.
Yeah. All
right,
we'll
need all 7 oracles. All right,
Cirie at 10.
Yeah, Cirie at 10. So $10 at 10% to win $94. That sounds like a good future. If Dane, I mean, if she careens towards, we're talking about this. Like, why haven't I put money on Cirie? If she careens toward, and just to be clear, this is Nando money. This is not the 7 oracles official. This is not the antenna official bank. This is me going rogue. But it's just like, if you agree that these markets are soothsayers and truth tellers, and she has climbed up, from 6%, 4% to 5% to 6%, now to 10%.
Yeah.
I just, like, at a certain point, you get rid of the threats. She just keeps finding ways. Plus, she has an extra vote. Plus, she might find immunity. Someone might give her immunity. Like, there's always that weird little twist that prevents, someone from getting. I don't know. I just think the 10 cents maybe will start to go up as we go along here, and like spoilers are gone too.
So here's what I'll do. On our own personal money, that's not the antenna money. I will see your Cirie at 10 cents. I am going to apply your same logic, and I'm going to take Rizzo at 4%.
All right, that's cool. All right, I like that.
You know what I mean? Because it's kind of the same thing. They're together. Yep. Rizzo has an idol, right? And he could kind of, just as easily as Cirie could get up to 25%, Rizzo getting up to 10% would be the same kind of value for a cash out. So your personal bet is Cirie. My personal bet will be the RIZ GOD Riz God.
All right. We're in. Well, hold on. Let me just do the math. You're $10 on the 4. $234 for Rizzo. That's not bad.
That's what I'm saying.
Anyway,
Like, Cirie is what, 9.5 times your money? Rizzo's at 23x right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good.
I also think
bad, but I mean, it's. I mean, this guy's he's got a. By the time it's all said and done, what do we have? Like 60 days
in a row, almost.
Yeah, with like a 5-day break in the middle.
Yeah, like so. I'm just saying it because of Rizzo being at 4 versus the 10. It would take less movement for Rizzo,
right,
for the cash out potential to be there. So, you do Cirie, I'll do Rizzo as our kind of independent. Go get him. Cheers.
Feels good. All right, man. I feel good about this. We're looking ahead to next week now, where an actual merged tribe should give us some answers, and hopefully we'll know in a couple days when this will be kicked off Survivor episode 7 market opens. It's not open right now as we do this, but like that's what happened. I think last week, like the 3 getting eliminated maybe messed things up a little bit. But yeah, there is a what will Jeff Probst say market.
Ooh. That's how you do it on Survivor. Can I get that?
Yeah, one of the right. Yeah, Applebee's.
Worth playing for. Can I get that?
We'll do that next week. We'll talk. Maybe the Probst mentions will be a new addition to the antenna.
Ooh.
Anyway, chaos will start next week, hopefully based on history. Post merge with no people landing, and posting. So stay tuned. Yeah. For now, check out predictionmarketspicks.com for all of your needs. Where we'll take some feedback if you want to hit us up at the7oracles@gmail.com. Let us know what you think about the show, about the site, whatever.
All sorts of great stuff.
In the meantime, for the spitting statistician Dane Martinez, I'm Nando DeFino. Thank you all for joining us and listening, and we hope you learned something fun and exciting and new. Join us on either the Cirie or Rizzo ride as we go along here. You're welcome to. All right, awesome. Dane, until next week.
The tribe has spoken.